Good morning. We'll do the prayer, page 1. Om Prithvi Shanti Antarikshagam Shanti Dau Shanti Disha Shanti Avantara Disha Shantir Agni Shantir Vayu Shantir Aditya Shantir Chandrama Shanti Nakshatrani Shantirapa Shantiroshadaya Shantir Vanaspataya Shantir Gau Shantiraja Shantirashva Shanti Purusha Shantir Brahma Shantir Brahmana Shanti Shantireva Shanti Shantirme Astu Shantihi. May there be peace on earth and in the sky. May there be peace in the water in all directions. May there be peace in the plants, in the trees, and in animals. May there be peace in the hearts of all beings. May there be peace in everyone and everything. Sarvetra sukhina santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet, sarvastaratu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva satbuddhi mapnotu, sarva sarvatra nandatu. May all be happy and healthy. May all see what is good, and may no one experience misery. May all overcome their obstacles and acquire good tendencies. May people everywhere find joy and fulfillment.
Good morning. First reading today is from regarding Meister Eckhart, the great Christian mystic who lived from 1260 to 1328 AD. Sometimes it's significant. Teachers in Vedanta say that when they come to study Meister Eckhart, that they recognize in him a Christian who's experienced nirvikalpa samadhi. So this is actually readings from Swami Yogeshananda's article in the magazine Vedanta in the West from September 1955. Question: how can I find God? No man ever found God. He gave himself away. Then let me put it another way. What prevents us from knowing God? Three things. The first is time, the second is body, and the third, multiplicity. Remember, if you seek anything of yours, you will never find God. For you are not seeking God merely. You are seeking something with God, making a candle of God, as it were, with which to find something, and then, having found it, throwing the candle away. Is this knowledge like our present knowledge? No, do not foolishly imagine that your reason can grow to the knowledge of God. No natural light can bring it about that God shall shine divinely in you. It must be utterly extinguished and go out of itself altogether. Then God can shine with his light, bringing back with it everything left behind and 1,000-fold more, besides the new form containing it. To know God, God-fashion, your knowledge must change into downright unknowing, a forgetting of yourself and every creature. What is the relationship between God and the soul? My child, God and the soul are so near together that there really is no distinction between them. Nothing but God finds its way into God, and once the soul is in God, she is God, born into God on his eternal word. If God became man in the person of Jesus Christ, how does that help me? God not only became man, he assumed human nature. I make bold to say that every good thing possessed by the saints and by Mary, and Christ in his human nature is also mine in this same nature. One book says that God is beyond virtue. This is difficult to understand. It means that the vision of God transcends virtues. Virtue is in the middle, between vice and perfection, and the fruit of virtue, the end and object of virtue, will never be obtained until the soul is caught up above the virtues. Be sure that as long as a man holds fast as a slave to virtue, he will never taste the fruit of virtue, which is to see the God of gods. Be sure of it, mere virtue has never seen this sight. Surely this does not mean that we are to abandon virtue. No, we are to practice virtue, not possess it. Not by fasting and good works can we gauge our progress in the spiritual life, but a sure sign of growth is a waxing love for the eternal and a waning interest in temporal things. The man who owns $100,000 and gives them all in the name of God to found a monastery is doing a good work. Yet I say it would be better for him to despise himself and empty himself for the love of God. Sir, what happens when we attain to perfect union with God? When the soul, being kissed by God, is in absolute perfection and bliss, then at last she knows the embrace of unity. Then at the touch of God, she is made uncreaturely. Then with God's motion, the soul is as noble as God is himself. As the drop becomes the ocean, not the ocean the drop, so the soul imbibing God turns into God, not God into the soul. What happens at the moment of this union? What is it like? Ah, my child, hang on a minute. Ah, my child, if only you could suddenly be altogether unaware of things. Yes, could but pass into oblivion of your own existence, as St. Paul did when he said, whether in the body I know not, or out of it I know not, God knoweth. Such intense delight, such supreme exaltation, as no mind can conceive nor tongue express. If a man catches one fleeting glance of the joy and bliss therein, it would make it up to him for having to suffer everything he could ever suffer. Can this state of union be attained in this very life, Meister Eckhart? I have sometimes said that a man sees God in this life in the same perfection and is happy in the same perfect way as in the life to come. Many people are astonished to hear this. Yet this life is attainable while a man still eats and drinks. When a man has reached this point, we may well say, this man is God and man. All Christ has by nature, he has won by grace. His body is filled with the noble nature of the soul, which it receives from God with divine light. Thus we may indeed say, behold a man divine. What is God's love for us like? Will you understand if I tell you it is an arrow, sped without anger and received without pain? You do not need to seek him here or there. He is no further off than at the door of your heart. There he stands lingering, awaiting whoever is ready to open and let him in. You do not need to call to him far off. He waits much more impatiently than you for you to open to him. He longs for you 1,000 times more urgently than you for him. What does renunciation really mean? In truth, my boy, renunciation of self is true renunciation. The other day, a man came to me and told me he had given up a quantity of land and goods to save his soul. Alas, I thought, how paltry, how inadequate, the things that you have resigned. It is blindness and folly, for so long as you care a jot for what you have renounced. Renounce yourself. How do we know what is best for us? Ah, my child, whatever it is that lights devotion in your heart and knits you closest to God, that is the best thing for you in every case. Sir, I have read nearly all the books in our library on prayer, but they seem to only give me hints. What is prayer? Prayer is the practice of pure being and glorifying therein. Never pray for any mortal thing, my children. If you must pray for anything at all, pray for God's will and nothing else. For in that you have found everything. God is one, and anything extra that is to be sought for or found is not God, but a mere fraction. You do not lay great values on penances than in spiritual life? As I have said, it is not by fasting and good works that we can gauge our progress in the virtuous life. Fasting, praying, kneeling, scourging, hair shirts, hard beds, or whatever it may be, were all invented because the body and flesh stand ever opposed to spirit. The spirit is not at home here where the body is. But to conquer and curb the flesh, it is 1,000 times better to put on the bridle of love. Love is like the fisherman's hook. Once the fish takes it, it's done for. The fisherman is certain of the catch. God lies in wait for us with this hook above all. He who has found the way of love will seek no other. He who hangs on this hook is so fast caught that foot, hand, mouth, eyes, and heart, and all that is man's, is bound to be God's. Whoever is caught in this net, whoever walks in this way, whatever he does is done through love. Therefore, await this hook, so you may be happily caught, and the more surely caught, so much more the surely freed. Finally, here's a couple of quotes from Meister Eckhart. The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me. My eye and God's eye are one eye, one seeing, one knowing, one love. We plant in the soil of contemplation, what we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action. Theologians may quarrel, but the mystics of the world speak the same language. Isness is God. What is truth? Truth is something so noble that if God could turn aside from it, I could keep the truth and let God go.
This morning I will read from a book written by Swami Paramananda, who was a disciple of Swami Vivekananda, and he founded the Boston Vedanta Center in 1909. Interestingly, I came across this book, Faith is Power, when I was visiting the Chicago Center a few summers ago, and it was before I was aware of this special connection of the Swami with the Boston Center. And I became very enthralled with his writing, which is very clear and inspired. And my fondness for Swami has grown deep as I've learned about his strongly held belief between the equality of men and women and his advocacy for empowering women in the Vedanta community. So this is very special. I come back to this book and another book we have here called Silence in Yoga, which he also wrote. This is from chapter 3 called The Power of Faith. Faith is one of the greatest spiritual gifts. It is a living, glowing factor in our life. But we must not confound faith with mere belief. Belief comes from reasoning and argument. We may hear something that appeals to us, we analyze it, reflect on it, and at last decide we may believe it. This belief, however, can be shifted. By a word, someone can create a doubt in our mind and make us waver again. But real faith, on the contrary, rests on our actual experience, and when we possess that, nothing can shake us. Before we reach this point, however, we may accept the word of those in whom we have trust. As when we are going to a strange country and desire information about it, we seek out someone who's been to that country and who is thoroughly acquainted with it. So first of all, we must turn to those who are acquainted with the spiritual realm and listen to what they have to tell us of it. It is for this reason that we have saviors and inspired teachers. If we wholly rely on ourselves to discover the truth, much time and labor may be required. We may choose a roundabout way. But if we take the word of others, we may save ourselves much time and labor. And we believe in them because a careful study of their life and their words convinces us that they know, and we depend on their knowledge until we acquire that knowledge for ourselves. At the outset of our spiritual study, we are forced to accept certain facts which are based on the experience of others, but we must not stop until we have gained the same experience for ourselves. Faith based on the testimony of another is never ours, it is another's. Until we have made it ours through our own experience, we cannot depend on it. To be dependable, it must rest on proof, and this proof must be of our own making. Unless we have faith, we cannot work well, because doubt scatters and dissipates our energy. A little doubt enters our mind, and soon a great storm is raging inside. It leaves us dejected and exhausted. Doubt always tears down. It is wasteful and destructive, while faith is constructive. It is so easy to doubt, for as soon as we begin doubt regarding one thing, it leads to the doubt of everything, and before long, our whole moral nature becomes diseased. When we doubt, we strike a death blow to our tree of life, and naturally, the leaves and flowers fade away. Without faith, we can accomplish very little in this life. If we wish to advance, we must take the road of faith. There are people who seem to have been naturally skeptical, but their skepticism is nothing but a habit, which they have cultivated. And this can be replaced by a more constructive habit. It is just as easy to trust as to not trust. We must, of course, use our discriminative faculty, but to tear down does not show superiority. Those who criticize do great harm. They may drop just one doubting thought into a mind, and that doubt may grow and grow until the mind is ruined. For if we doubt, we shall go down and down. The doubt which leads us to investigate is okay, but when by the light of our soul we gain deeper revelation, we must then throw the doubt away. At the present moment, we have faith in ordinary things. We have firm faith in the existence of this external phenomenal world, and if someone comes and tells us that it is just temporary and apparent, we refuse to listen to them. We cannot disbelieve its existence because we have based our whole life on a belief in its reality. It is only regarding the realm of spiritual consciousness that we allow ourselves to doubt. We do not hesitate to question the existence of our soul, but we never doubt our bodily life. Yet a man does not live because he has a body, but because he has a soul. We may have thousands of bodies, but we never have more than one soul. For the sake of that soul, we must strive to gain faith in spiritual realities. We must cultivate a sense of consecration and learn to trust in God, even in our darkest moments. And if we can do this, we shall be able to stand up and bear even the most overwhelming misfortune. If we give attention only to the material side, we are easily overwhelmed by doubt and despair. But when we care for the God side too, nothing can overwhelm us. We must never lose faith in God, in ourself, or in humanity. For in this threefold faith lies the secret of all strength and all higher attainment. Whatever we think, we become. If we constantly think ourselves insignificant and worthless, we shall become that. The Bhagavad Gita declares, "There is neither this world, nor the next, nor any happiness for the doubting self." One who is full of doubt invariably misses the goal of existence because he fails to take advantage of the opportunities which come to him. Man must possess faith in himself, but not from an egotistical sense, not as a person with a certain name or form, born into such a family, or with a certain position in a community. It is in the higher self that he must have faith, in himself as a child of God, a direct heir to divinity. He must base his faith on that soul power within, which nothing can daunt. Then, when he has learned to have faith in his own soul, he can begin to have faith in God. For we cannot have trust in one without having trust in the other. Have faith in yourself, in your vocation, and in the divine. This may seem confusing. We must have faith in ourself, and yet we must give up all thought of self. What does it mean? It means that we must forget the lower self and place our faith in the higher self. The faith that we have now in our physical being must be spiritualized. This higher faith, however, can only come by living the life. Only as we embody our belief in our daily life do we acquire a firm conviction about anything. We must strengthen our spiritual consciousness and feed it just like we feed our physical body. We must not starve our spirit. The spiritual life is absolutely essential to our existence. And to make our spiritual life potent, we must be wakeful and have a sincere yearning for the truth. Through God consciousness, our life is wonderfully balanced. A life such as this, which is based on true faith, is bound to bring great blessing. It is bound to manifest great spiritual power. Although we cannot expect to gain such unbroken, unwavering faith at once, but if we seek and pray and really yearn for it from the depth of our being, the way will open by which we shall inherit this rare spiritual gift. When it comes, it will lead us to that realm of reality which never fails, which never deceives, which is more real than this world, and which is the very foundation of our being.
Sing a word that sits on the color
As many of you know, Swami Tyagananda is away this week in Berkeley, California, to speak at their event celebrating Swami Vivekananda's visit to the Bay Area in the year 1900, so it's their 125th anniversary. So next Sunday, he will be speaking on remembering Shankaracharya. We'll also have the Gita study class as usual on Wednesday at 7:30. So now let us do the prayer on page 3. Om, may the divine being, who is the Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, the Great Spirit of the Native Americans, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May we be granted strength, freedom, and clear understanding. May we learn to see God in our own hearts and in everyone around us. May God bless us all and fill our hearts with gratitude, grace, and love. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. Peace be unto all.